Hi guys, welcome to the latest episode of the On the Head podcast. This week I am joined by local actor Packy Lee. Some people might know him as Johnny Dogs. How's it going, Packy? You keeping well?
I'm all good. Hope you're well, Pete. Hope you're well.
Not too bad. So, what's been the crack in lockdown for somebody in your sort of line of work? What have you been at?
Well, look, anybody that knows me knows I don't just stick to the acting and waiting scripts. I work my normal job. I always have. I always will. It's something I enjoy doing. It's something that keeps my head in the right place when I need it to be, or is just concentrating maybe on just normal work. So I've been overflowed with a lot of that because the world's turned virtual, and my world's part of the virtual world. So it's went a wee bit haywire for me. So when everyone else has been on lockdown, I've sort of had other work to deal with. And bear in mind, I was just about to go into Peaky's, and that had stopped. It was a bit weird that everyone else is on lockdown. All of a sudden, I'm doing 15, 16 hours trying to do all these paperwork for people to make sure that they're happy enough that they can open up business during lockdown to survive throughout this time. I'm a great supporter of small businesses throughout, not just the whole of Belfast, but the whole of Northern Ireland in general, and larger companies. So to watch them suffer the way they have has been very hard. And what I've done is I'm part of a team that's tried to help them get back to their feet, and even help provide certain areas. If it's a restaurant, right, let's turn it into a takeaway. You know, if it's something else to do, okay, can we deliver it out? Will you do it themselves? And I've been part of that world at the minute. I've been on doing my interviews. I've been in touch with a lot of people. I've been doing my Saturday AMs with the lads, and I've had a couple of fun with videos with the likes of the Boyd Sports guys and stuff. And I've been keeping myself occupied in that sense. But there's no doubt this has been one of the toughest years that I think we'll all experience. And we're not even through the year. We're not even halfway there. That's what's frightening about it. You mentioned 2020 to people. It's gonna scare them. And there's been a lot of sorrow and a lot of heartbreak. There's also been on my side, personally, I'm just being honest, there's been a lot of notice taken, which there should have been, like I said at the start, for the likes of the NHS staff and people on the front line who, not just during COVID-19 or coronavirus, but every day they risk their lives because nobody ever knows what type of virus anywhere is ever being born, no matter where it is. And when you work in that environment, you're always putting yourself at risk. And again, and I know what this program's about, so let's get straight down to it. These are people going into hospital to help people. So some of these people are no doubt obviously dying, and there's no light way of saying that. It's a heartbreaking moment for every member of their family. But somebody, just take somebody, for example, and one of the million of workers, but somebody who, for example, makes the tea and toast and has to go around and make sure that beds are all tidy and clean and the floors are just, not even a doctor, just a normal, little worker in the hospital, and think about what goes through their heads. They have to watch this, and they watch this day in and day out, and it's been absolutely amazing to watch them lead from example and help us through this. I know we're coming to a certain point now where things are starting to get back to normal, but let's not forget about where we were. These guys have had it very hard, and I'm a big supporter of the NHS and every frontline staff worker, care homes, right down to nurseries and everything of any aspect. I'm a great supporter of it all.
Definitely. That's actually just, you've put a thought in my head in terms of whenever these nurses are obviously in the middle of this and they're seeing so many deaths going on around them, people just think that it's normal for somebody like them to see. But what's the ramifications after this? Like, you'd like to think the government are going to have things set in place, because you don't know what way it could be affecting people's mental health in terms of, if you're constantly surrounded by death, surely you would think there has to be something done. And that's the main idea around wanting to do this podcast, trying to get it out there that people are going to need help even after us. And this has been a continuing thing throughout my life, mental health problems, but I don't want it just to finish with this. I want it to carry on, as you say. these things are going on day and daily. The NHS are constantly under strain, under pressure. I'm sort of doing this to push that things are put in place for whenever this happens, because Joe Bloggs is maybe working as a nurse down there. You don't know what's going on in people's heads whenever they go home at night after seeing all this. So it's going to be a big struggle that we're all going to
Some
have
of
to
them
go through together.
Some of them haven't been home. Some of them been on isolation and can't get home. Some of them still can't get home. 12, 15, 14 weeks they've been away from their families, 9 weeks, some of them. It's something that we'll certainly have to look as. I understand that we asked the government to help us, and rightly so, and that's what we need is backing. Let's not forget friends and family are our biggest backing, and they're certainly mine. And there's times where look, people look at me and go, "Is the guy Peaky Blinders?" But some people don't see. 2 days ago, I was having it hard, and
Yeah,
like, do you understand? It's not just about like, oh, you're okay because you've this and this. When I say I've been having it hard, it means like something's happened that's put me in a position where I feel uncomfortable, and I now need to make certain changes or choices, and then that drives me somewhere else, and that's like a normal. I mean, I hope that's a normal situation for people in general life, and that's where we need to call upon friends and family to help us get to that point. It's the people, Paul, that don't have anyone to phone.
yeah,
It's the people that we need to try and help and try and make people aware of, and ask the government to help and to make sure they're stepping in at the right times. And I'm hoping they are making traction the right way. It's an emotional subject.
yeah, big time.
You
How
phone
does
me and you
somebody?
text me and you says to me, "Do you want to do the podcast?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, right. And I don't mind doing a podcast, and I don't mind jumping on for a bit of football and a bit of banter.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very serious subject. It's hard to jump off and have a bit of crack when we're talking about something serious, unless you understand how serious it really is. And I am very aware how serious that is. I want my kids, no matter what they decide to do in life, to be happy. I just want them to be happy. And if they're happy, no matter what career path they choose, then that's completely up to them. I will support that. Maybe not agree on careers. Sometimes I might say, look, listen, he needs to be a footballer. And in his mind, he's maybe going, look, listen, I'm going to be a painter because it's class. And, you're outdoors painting every day. And, I don't know what one of my kids are going to be. I'm just saying that there might be, as a parent, you'll be going, why didn't he, like, it just happens. That's normal life. And everyone has a different personality. And that's what brings your mind to that point of, now, okay, where am I? Who am I? Why aren't I? As much as we're on this Zoom now and people have access on a lot of social media platforms, let's not forget that social media is sometimes the architect of these downfalls. And
Definitely.
the reason being is because you'll jump on and see Joe, for example, young Joe, for example, all of a sudden, bang, hot tub, living the dream, great. You'll think Joe's great, he's all right, let's forget about Joe. And then you'll jump on and somebody else will be like, it's been a hard day. And you'll go, right. Now they've opened up. Let's not forget Joe. We only seen Joe for a second.
Yeah.
This Joe character could be any man, woman, or child that has shown that false identity that they're having a great time in life, when in actual fact, deep down they're not. So, I understand that. A lot of people ask me why I still live in Belfast. I laugh at them. I love Belfast. I'm not leaving. But, like, why do you live? And why have you not moved away? And people don't understand. It's not. I personally need to be in Belfast. It's the community of people. You can't buy that type of thing. That thing's not created just overnight. That's a community is a community. And there's arguments in communities, and there's disagreements in communities, but there's love. And as long as we don't let that go, I think if we stick to each community and each community helps itself, and we have things like this going out there, P, that I'm hoping that we're doing anything to help. And I'm the first to say, anybody needs any help, and if you nobody, listen, get me. I'm on social media. Come get me, because if there's something I can do to help somebody, I'll be at their door. And that's by Creek, you know.
How does somebody like yourself develop this sort of strong resistance? Because you say there that maybe 2 days ago you've had these problems. What kind of background did you come from? How was this instilled in you as a young man? You were obviously born and raised in West Belfast, were you?
I'm born and raised in West Belfast. I'm also from a travelling background. So I got a lot of stick in school at a very young age from being from the travelling community. Even though I lived in a house and, you know, and spoke the way I spoke, people just couldn't take away the fact that one of my uncles lived in a caravan halfway up the road. So I had a bit of a time with that scenario, which is cool. Maybe that's part of the reason why I'm more open about talking about these things, is because you're then going to yourself, you know, this is maybe made me who I am. You know what I mean? Like I did say to you before we come on here, the most ironic thing about it all is that like I used to get tortured in school and called the Jippo Lee. And lo and behold, I'm in and first of all, let's get into school. Let's do that while we're on this. School was the hardest time ever for me. I did not enjoy school. I did not enjoy there's not many classes I went to where I went, this is class. Do you understand?
It's hard to hear that, because I enjoyed school, so it's hard even hearing that from somebody like you, you know.
So I didn't enjoy the whole aspect of doing that. And when I say I didn't enjoy school, it's because when I told the teachers what I wanted to do, 90% of them laughed at me. So I couldn't really give and enjoy being in that class. One teacher had to went, you want to be an actor? Brilliant, fantastic, Patrick. Now sit you down, because you will be an actor. Now, where's the capital of the world? You know what I mean? Or whatever. Now we're back to normal class, Patrick, in 1844, because we're in history. Let's get back to it, you know. And instead, some of them didn't. Some of them just went, you know, that's never happening. Get yourself a real job. Get out of the clouds. You're, you know. And after a couple of scenarios in school, I didn't enjoy going, man. I didn't enjoy being there. I went. I had to. I wouldn't be allowed to be caught on the bike. That would be worse than not being going to school. You know, punished by your parents for not going would be a big deal. So I wanted to make sure I stayed on that step. But then I found music, and I enjoyed music in school, and then all of a sudden I grabbed the microphone one day and I started singing, and the teacher came in, man, who the hell was that? I was like, there's me getting suspended. Sorry, it was me. You know. And he's like, get up there and do it again. Let's get the drums going. All of a sudden, he's running around the school, getting all these kids out of classes, and went, right, we've got somebody who can sing. Let's go and do this. And I was 14. There I am, literally 4 days later, standing with George Best. And I'm singing a song. And George Best is going, I think you need to move your hips a bit. And I'm going, right, well, I'll give it a wee bit of that then. What's that? And he's like, that's what we're talking about, son. And I can't believe I'm in the room with George Best. I was in geography 2 days ago. Right? So I had a bit of a weird moment in school when that happened, and then people knew that I wanted to go into that. The first thing they were calling you was the normal scenario things like, oh, look at the actor, he wants to be in the music and all this here, so he's obviously either one of the 25,000 name-calling scenarios that I'm not going to say because it's just below me now. And, you know, you just maybe grow a bit of thick skin throughout all that. Go to yourself, listen. So I found out that the only thing I had to do was concentrate where I want to be, do what I want to do it my way, and lo and behold, the time will come. And when the time comes, I will be standing there. And let me tell you, like I wanted the river dance up and down the Glen Road of CBS with the Oscars out of the shore. They go, listen, you know what I mean? I thought you says it wasn't, you know what I mean? And all of a sudden you're getting invites to schools to go, will you come and speak to the kids? And that's massive to me. That's better than winning an award, because you're making an impact in your local area. And that's massive to me, because I used to get laughed at, like, massively, and bullied massively, and beat up massively. So it's made me a lot stronger, that's for sure. And I can now go toe to toe with some of the biggest, and there's no fear, regardless. Right?
Yeah, you seem to have the respect of West Belfast. You seem to almost like have the run of the place. Like as you say, you stay in around the community, and you're always seen out and about. Actually, quite a funny story was we were sitting outside McDonald's one day, me and the wife, and they says the way they say here, park up, they'll bring it out to you. You just happen
Hi.
to be walking in, but you were walking in on your own. And my missus is good for spotting people's faces and says to me, I think that's a guy to Peaky Blinders. And I was like, I think it is. And I was like, all right, mate. And just because you're so down to the earth, you just thought it was like no one of the boys or something. You start dandering over, looking in the car, and you're like, all right. And then you realize you didn't even know me. And you're just like, all right, man, how's it going? And just whatever, just went and got your Big Mac or whatever it was.
The amount of times that happened to me is unbelievable. I was in one of the shopping centres. Where was it? It was at Tesco or Asda or something down Asda. And I was in the queue, and the wee girl just like, she kept looking, and I'm like, the wee girl's going to say something, like she's going to say something to who she is, and she's looking at me, and I'm looking at her, and I'm in the queue just, and all of a sudden she went, it wasn't even, are you him? It was, do you not have somebody that does this for you? And I was like, no, not at all. That's not the way world works, you know what I mean? In normal scenarios.
See, coming from the background of like, I know technically you weren't in like technically in the traveling community in a sense, you lived in a house. Do you still have that sort of work ethic instilled in you? Because that would be a big thing in the traveling community, wouldn't it? Looking after your own, always working, not taking anything for granted, not getting ahead of yourself. So whenever she says stuff like that to you, it's almost like an insult in a sense. Like,
100%.
was I doing my own chatting?
100%. And look, listen, so to be honest, if I flew over to Liverpool to do maybe a couple of days on Peaky's, say Tuesday and Wednesday, just 2 days right away, and then I wasn't needed again until Monday or Sunday or Monday or whatever, right? Then I would fly home on the Wednesday, and I would go to work on the Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and come back out on the Sunday. I mean, as much as it sounds great and all that, it's not like 3-4 days in a hotel stuck indoors, not being able to move. It's not,
It's not glamorous.
It's not glamorous, and with such short flights, it's great to get home, see the kids, get back into normality, and most importantly, remember that it's not something that happens all the time. And to share them moments with your kids and family and the wife and stuff coming back, it's, don't get me wrong, it's not all easy. They're like, sometimes I'm flying home going, I don't think I've done well, or like, I think I'm not 100% sure how that looks,
Yeah.
And one of them, The Witcher, for example, when there's so many people and artists around you, and all of a sudden you're literally fighting Superman. Like, you're fighting Superman. That's what you're doing here. You're just about to fight Superman. Do you ever
feel inferior around them people?
Well, that was the point of my life of going, hold on here, because it was I'd already been deep in rehearsals, done a lot of work, done a lot of moments with it, done a lot of practice, some of the real swords, the fake swords, and then all the real swords are coming in, and all of a sudden you realise that, Henry's Henry, and like, I'm talking to Henry, and Henry's cool, so me and Henry's like cool, just like me, and we're all cool, it's all cool, Henry's sound, and then somebody just goes and says one word, like, you're about, Superman, and then you go, hold on a wee second, shouldn't be so easy, maybe what's that step, and am I doing that right? And then you start to overthink things, and then you start to do that, then all of a sudden you can see the panic in the person's eyes. You got to cut, you got to do it again. So I've learned a lot of lessons about doing that, but I promise you, like, there's nothing more exciting and enjoyable than getting in there and getting stuck in with these guys, because they are the best of the best. But like, if you're not willing to learn from these guys and everyone else around you in my industry and my business, then I don't really know what to say about that. Every day is a learning day, regardless of the day. That's it. Regardless of what you have ahead of you, it has to be a learning day. It has to be. I live my life by that motto. It has to be, And you're right. Yes, maybe it's something in the traveling background community. I can't. I need to go and work every day. Something needs to be done. And we need to provide. We need to help. We need to do something. We need to go and do the yard. Do that. Something needs to be done. And there is days, don't get me wrong, I can go away for 2 weeks and chill out, but I'll go away for 2 weeks and I'll walk the beach maybe 30 times. And you know, I like doing all this. Is what I do to help my head, because if I spend 4 or 5 days and I stop, I would struggle to get the engine going again. And I don't want that.
Too much time. You have too much time to think or something.
So then all of a sudden you go into this world of, right, well, you're doing too much, so you're just going to break. At some point, you have to break. And I listen to that all the time, and I do take it on board, but this is what I've done all my life. This is what I will continue to do. This is what's got me to where I am. This is what makes me do what I do every day. And other than that, like, you know, it's not easy. It's not easy when you're told no to other jobs that people don't read about or they don't see, because they don't see that you're the last person down to a massive movie shooting, for example, in, you know, California, 20 weeks, superstar level, and you're down to the last 2, and all of a sudden you're told no. Like, nobody sees it.
Acting's a hard one in a sense, because if your face doesn't fit, you're never in with a chance at all, I'm assuming.
100%. And well, sometimes, yeah, and sometimes then there's a lot of, it depends on the director as well, because there's a lot of actors who maybe not fit it, but let me tell you, they're the perfect place for it, because when they get going and they get to the level where they've worked and rehearsed to, then that's where they are. One of my biggest achievements in life is the National Theatre in London. Like, you have to understand, there was 20 odd cast members, and me and my mate Jared, who's Jared Quinn, people call him Hooker from Pull and Move, some people know him from everything else. And I actually seen him
in a show recently, or the one that's on Sky One, Brassic.
Right, Brassic. So
he actually plays a traveller in that, but he's brilliant.
There you go, a traveller, you know what I mean? So, which is brilliant. But anyway, and I'm good mates with Jay, and he's all great. So, and like, one of our proudest moments is like walking on stage from the National Theatre, going like, listen, everyone's trying to do our accent and they can't.
So they'll need you eventually.
You know what I mean? So we've loads of people going, oh, you really need to go to dialect coach. We're going, why? But sure, that's not how we talk. You need to talk the way we talk. They need to talk the way we talk. You know. So we built this relationship of banter from day one, and well, we've enjoyed it a lot. That was a great experience for us, and it was a big achievement, my life, being able to say you've worked in the National Theatre of London, and the most prestigious theatre there is out there, was a big deal. And then to go on and do Owen McCaffrey's other play again, Shoot the Crow, was another great achievement. So these are things that help whenever things aren't going well, then I can look back on them. I'm very aware of the people who haven't hit where they need to hit the look back on yet, and that's what the problem may be. So, for example, the young footballer who wants to be a footballer, he may not be a footballer just yet, but he may be struggling, and he's nothing to look back on because he hasn't hit that corner yet, or he hasn't hit that goal yet, or he hasn't won the cup yet, or, you know, or a boxer or fighter hasn't won that fight yet. But when they do, because they will, and when they do, because if they want to, they will, and if they do, they'll look back on the good days, you know. I'm sure, for example, Trent looks back on that corner against Barcelona on many a days, they go, I hooked that corner. I asked him, what's the crack with it? You know, instinct. So I'm sure he's going to look back on that over 20 years and go, that ball. And then only he's going to look back and go, what made him kick at me? It's like, so that's the moment in sport and history these boys will look back on for the rest of their lives, and people will have that in their day-to-day lives. It will be anything from young Mickey up the road the other day who came out and won a scratch card because somebody gave him a scratch card and he won it, and all of a sudden he's got $2,000. He'd be happy for a few days, and all of a sudden he'd be struggling for the next couple of weeks, and people don't know what's wrong with him. Like, hey, I'm sure he's great. He won that feud, you know. I don't realise it's not all about sometimes what people see, and that's the hardest part about my business, because you don't get to see a lot of it. You only get to see whatever they put on TV.
Yeah,
you know?
People on a so-called celebrity status, people don't really see the work that goes in behind the scenes, in a sense. Like, even for yourself, did you start out as a chef before you could even get into acting? So you're doing stuff that chef's a great job if you want to be it, but you're always thinking, I want to be an actor. So you basically, your advice would be you have to just keep striving and striving to get to the point where you achieve what you want to achieve. Like, it's not going to come easy to anybody. Do you think nowadays that people, like younger people, can sort of be misled and they're thinking that everything should be handed to them? Like, do you try and instill in your kids, like, you have to work, you have to want it, you know, you need to study hard, you need to train hard?
The first thing I am is a great believer on, don't ever look at don't ever criticize or question what they want to do on the first attempt, because that's what people did on me. When I said I want to be an actor, and I want to be in a superstar movie, and I want to do this, I want to be an actor, I want to play at life, I want to play other people. Like, you know, people used to laugh at me. So if somebody does want to say that they want to be A, B, C, or D, the first thing you've got to do, and the first thing I will do, no matter who it is, I will always go, brilliant. Now, how are we going to do that? Not how you going to do that. How are we going to do that? Because the difference between I and we is massive. There's somebody believes in me. There's somebody that trusts me. And there's me. I'm already in a team because he believes in me. And I had a lot of good friends, literally still do. And every one of them would use the we. And that's what we use. And that's the secret. Now, we may not agree to it, so we have to then turn around and go, brilliant. Now, how do we actually agree on this? You know, because
Actually, that's your own kid?
Yeah, because I know what you want to do is be a gamer. And I think that's fantastic. And there's gamers out there that are earning millions, and they are the best in the world. All I'm saying is what's been passed down to me and everyone else. Have you thought about going to do something else? You know? Is there any? I know you want to do that, and that's brilliant. And how we're going to do that, we'll work at that. But is there anything else? You know, and trying to get them things out is going to be hard, because nowadays we're moving into a world and a society where the young generation is going to take over, and them dreams are going to be completely different than what ours are. I think the one dream stroke drive that will never leave anybody is if you really want to do it and have the ambition to do it, then you'll do it. And
definitely,
that's like, there's no, like, that's not medicine, or, you know, or none of this, like, do whatever you have to do. People say, oh, you do what it takes. The amount of times I've had that said to me is unbelievable. I totally get you, understand that if you're cutting the grass, you understand. But to do what I want to do isn't going to just take, you know, it's going to take time, and I need people that trust me, and I need people that just be behind me, because it's going to be hard.
Patience is a big thing, isn't it?
Oh, and I like to get in there and get over it, you know what I mean? So it's, you know, for every audition I went to, I'm going to myself, why haven't they just cast me already? Why, you know? I don't want to wait 4 and 5 days, and sometimes you're waiting 3 weeks and you get a call to go, right, that's you're away, you know, you've got the job. Which is talk
us through the Peaky one, in the sense that you're only meant to be there for one episode. How do you make yourself sort of invaluable to the show? And by invaluable, I'll explain that in a minute, after, in my perspective, how you're invaluable to the show, once you tell me how you end up getting yourself in for more than one episode.
The first thing I'll be completely honest. Right, I knew it was for one episode because that was a job. I also knew Killian was doing it. That was a big factor to me. I wanted to work with Killian. And I'd known Killian for a few years prior to this from Theatre World. I'd never had the chance to work with him. I'd met him a lot of times, but never had the chance to to work with him. And if you meet a person, and no matter what's said, no matter where you are in the world, if you can meet a person and look at them and without saying a word, you laugh, then that's that's a good relationship right there.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not even a word opened, and there's two people in a wrinkle, you know. So that was my first day basically with him, because we're about to do something that's completely different, and we're hoping people buy into it. No, you're only here for a day. He's there for maybe 70, 80 days. This is day one. I was in day one of the first day. You know what I mean? First day's filming. Like, there wasn't another day. It's not as if I was brought in the 10th day. That was weird about it. I have no other way of saying it, and I've said it to plenty of people. I really got in, I dug in deep with the character. I created somebody and something. I was only meant to stop a fight. And that's what I was meant to do.
Right. Okay.
How you doing, Tom? Oh, you're back from war. Oh, he's the gypsy. Right, dead on. One of the Lees. Right, dead on. Fight, stop. They're out of here with the horse. Because they need a horse. That's the whole point. And throughout that, when camera angles are changing and things are changing, is when I had fun. And Paul had fun, Anderson. And I had fun, and Joe Cole had fun, and Killian had fun. And there was a couple of scenarios just throughout, as if to say, you know, what if this character, Johnny Dogs, was your long lost good friend, and, you know, and the way you treat them now, what if this is something that you do, like, you'll come back, you know. And I was like, I'd love to be involved again if we ever went again, you know, like, you're never going to be in the same series because that's already written. So I just went and enjoyed it, and I knew if I worked hard enough, there's an opportunity that they will bring me back. And lo and behold, I get in there, I dug deep, stood my ground, and the boss man was delighted to write me again, and then write me again, and write me again. And, like, you know, when you have one of the best writers of our generation in the entire planet, in my eyes, writing for you, that's mad. Like, that's mad. You know what I mean? Like, he's sitting writing for you, in you and mind, knowing what you can do. So he knows when to push you, and he knows when not. And I know what scene to maybe pull you. And none of these will be scenes that you'll be aware of, because they're page turners. They're all page turners. You know what I mean? Like, the way you watch it is the way we read it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then we have to keep it all in for months and months, not tell anybody about it. And then when it comes out, we're like, you know, what is it? You know. So yes, I have no idea how I became involved in it so much, and I honestly don't even have an answer, Paul, to be honest. I've just enjoyed it, and maybe they've seen it and went, right, let's keep him. Other than that, I have told everybody, no matter what you do in theatre or in our world, the one thing that I was taught by very good mentors is that no role is a small role. Yeah, definitely. So, end of. And that's like, you know, Solskjaer, Man United. You know,
you're there when you're needed.
He wins the trophy. I mean, there's weirdest things in the world. There's no small role ever. Everyone will have their part to play. But I don't know. I don't know where I don't even know where I'm going. Well, I do know where I'm going on season 6 because I've read the script. I know where all the characters are going and what trips and what, you know, that's all great. That's really, really, really exciting. But I've no idea what Dave has in mind for anybody, really, because he just writes it when he wants. I'm very proud to be part of it. Other than that, you know, I take each day as it is, you know. Yeah. Well, in my view, as like a bit of a super fan of the show, that the reason I ask that question is because on screen, I don't know if you watch yourself back, but your relationship with Tommy being obviously the main character is like, I see it as like, he confides in you like a confidant, you know, and you would advise him. And it seems as if it actually is like a mate's relationship, because Tommy's highly strung, you know, he could go off the rails, but it almost seems whenever you two are talking to each other, you have him like almost like a horse. You have the reins of him. You say, listen, Tommy, calm down. And it almost seems to be everything goes through you in a sense, like big things that happen. He almost seems to have already told you, or
you come out of the blue in the background, you're like, fuck, he's shoot up now, and you're like, get him blooming on, whatever, So I think that's obviously started, as you're saying, off screen, because there seems to be like a brilliant relationship, and it comes across really, really well
Well,
on the screen.
Not just with me in general. He is a cool, easy guy to get on with. It's going to be very hard for you to find any actor coming in or out of Peaky's who works with Killian to say any different. If not, then I need to understand where they're coming from, because what I witness and see is what I see. Even with the likes of Paul and then Helen, like Helen McCrory, unbelievable. The energy and the excitement that she brings to such characters, unbelievable, and the way she does it is amazing. And sure, any of the set with her is absolutely, like, it's a dream for me, because that's the type of level these guys are at. But I think the one thing that what maybe Stephen's held on to, and what I believe and I enjoy trying to bring to the character, is you've got to have somebody by your side who is more loyal than your entire family. So I'm trying to be that loyal character and friend for Tommy, who has a very dramatic family. Let's not forget, this is a family saga. This is a drama. I mean, it's a family saga drama. So it's good that he has that. I'm also trying to create something that every single person should be very jealous of, which is having a friend like that.
Yeah.
He just tells you the way it is. Look, he told me when he was 6. He'd say it when he was 26, and he'd say it at 46.
Mm-hmm.
I know nothing. That's all he says, because that's, and he'll not change, but his loyalty will be where it is. But then there's also going to be, maybe, I don't know, times in people's lives where that loyalty is always, remember, we're in a drama, you know what I mean? Real life loyalty is always a bigger thing and a more responsible thing, to be more loyal to friends and family and loved ones, to what you do and what you believe.
Yep.
And playing that character, for me, is a big responsibility for my own personal background, my own personal family. And then, because I never, ever want to let any single one of them down. Like, none of them, Like,
you want to portray it in the right light as well.
I do, yeah. I'm trying my best to do that. It's very hard to do that whenever you apply for drama school, and all of a sudden you're told you're not good enough, and you have to go home and be a chef. And while I'm cutting onions and cutting tomatoes, I'm doing my best to train to be the best actor I possibly can, while somebody else is in the middle of doing a Stanislavski class that costs maybe $2,000 a year. And that's, that happens. That happens. You've just got to get on with it. I'm not going to feel sorry for myself. I'm delighted I learned how to cut the onions and the mushrooms. I can do the dinner every night. You know what I mean?
If you're there.
It doesn't matter. Like, I mean, I'm all sound. Like, you know what I mean? So, but as far as the characters, I don't think any single person in the show of any show is ever invaluable. I'm a big believer, and I think everyone's part of a team effort, and when they go, they go. I enjoy my humour. I try and bring sometimes a bit of comedy element, and sometimes that just comes in the heat of whatever we're filming. You're never ever looking for them moments. Something might happen and they'll go, goodness me, look at that, and you'll just laugh because it's a funny scenario where we are. And other times it'll be left on the cutting room floor because, we need to go. We haven't got long. We've 58 minutes, I think. No adverts for BBC One, so including credits, there's not much time to squeeze a lot in. And then the bigger the show is, the bigger the actors are coming in, and then these other actors are coming in, and of course they deserve their time on screen. Why wouldn't they deserve their time on screen? But everyone wants time on screen, so, so it's it does.
It's just trying to fit it all together, isn't it? Really?
Oh, it's a bit of a jigsaw puzzle, to see where if they do all fit in, who and how and what with, and who says what, where, and when. And like, I love all the family scenes. I don't really like watching myself back at all, ever, in anything really. But I do keep an eye on things, like, just to make sure that if I felt something on that scene, I want to see if it was the way it was on the camera, because at the end of the day, I'm just the actor,
Sometimes it seems different in your head, and you think, did I do it wrong there? And then you watch it back and you were going, no, actually, that was fine.
Yeah. Sometimes
you're worrying for nothing.
you maybe think you've gone too big, and then all of a sudden you're not. You need to go bigger. You're like, whoa, seems a bit loud. But it seems a bit loud because we're filming at 2:30 in the morning and everyone else is sleeping. But, you know, at 9 o'clock at night when people's master at the house, it's not going to be loud. So let's get up there, you know.
Yeah.
Up there, you know, and all of a sudden you've got a different energy coming through, you know. And that's the other thing as well. That show is full of adrenaline energy, you know. It's a full roller coaster. So, like, there's days where we're in and we're playing the smaller scenes, but like in the afternoon, we'll be back at it again at full pelt, and then we're back in this morning, back again. So crazy, you know what I mean?
To get yourself up and down.
It
must be a good Is it a good escapism though, in playing somebody else for like an hour? Does it like? Is there any like sense of like?
If you're not doing anything and you're just standing against the lamppost, maybe, I don't know. But that factor went at the age of 13, 14 when I started to play proper parts and started to panic a bit about, because it's no longer about that. You need to give the right lane. Yeah. The other actors waiting on the lane, they're waiting on your energy changing so they can change. If I meant to say to you, listen, stop crying, and you're not crying, then we've got a problem. I'm saying stop crying. So we'll need to go back again, and you need to start crying while I'm washing the dishes. And you're like, right, so then you'll find that's why the dishes. Now, when I turn around, you should be in tears, right? Right. But I wasn't in tears a minute ago. Well, something needs to happen because it says here, stop crying. So you'll try and, you know, and that's what we do. And you don't see all that way of, you know, let's cut it, let's do this, let's replace it, because you're not meant to. You're meant to see the polished garlic up. It's like a car. Nobody sees it being built. But we all see the final product, you know. And
you hope it's safe.
Well, acting's a bit like cars, because I always think that the engine is the theatre work and the body work is television. So if you can imagine that, you always walk into a garage and you see all the oily bits, and you know what I mean? Yeah. When you walk into your showroom, it's all beautiful and nice because that's what you're told to see, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but, exactly.
All good.
I think the biggest compliment that I could pay you, because is the fact that whenever I'm watching the show, it's just, it doesn't seem as if you're acting. Like I've done a bit of drama in school, and whenever I watch scary films or something with a wife and she's like, no, turn that off, I just go, it's just two people standing in front of a green screen. But whenever I watch like stuff that I'm actually enjoying, I have to separate that, and then it's almost as if it's totally natural that you and Tommy seem like best mates or whoever else you're in the scene with. So to me, the character is brilliant and I really enjoy it. But just to wrap up with, just so I can let you get on, I usually ask a few questions, just like relaxation techniques and stuff, and what favorite films you watch. But because I love the show, I'm sort of going to base it a wee bit to start with around that. I just want to ask you what it's like if you have worked closely with them. I can't remember every scene for scene, but working with Aidan Gillen and Charlie Murphy, because I'm a big fan of both of them.
So I'm a big fan of Aidan and Charlie, and I've worked very closely with both of them, and I get on great with Aidan and I get on great with Charlie, and that is now a relationship forever. Yeah. I mean, listen, Irish royalty is what I'm surrounded with in Peaky's. You know what I mean? Massively. I know it's Peaky Blinders, but it's like proper Irish royalty. Like, it's, you know, from Charlie till Aidan to Killian, right, to Anto, the director, that you know, everyone there's a lot of Irish blood in the show, and they're all Irish royalty in my eyes. But Aidan's, you know, The Wire, come on, you know what I mean? His performance is unbelievable. Then you've got Love Hate. Then you've Charlie and Love Hate.
Possibly my favourite show ever.
Charlie Murphy is just the coolest girl you could possibly be around. Is Charlie, because she is just dead on, down to earth, as little as anybody else, but she can do no wrong when it comes to performances. Like, man, she can play any part. Like, she can play like any part. She can play any part. I know Aidan's fantastic. He's amazing, of course he is, but he is just, I think she's incredible. That's my personal opinion, and I'm very, very, very proud to have shared any of the screen with them. which has been an absolute honour in Piggy's to do.
Yeah. I think the biggest compliment that I could pay her is that sometimes when she came into Pickies after watching Love Hate for so long, it takes you a couple of minutes to go, Frank, that was her was in that, because her character is completely different, although she may look the same, just
Yeah,
giving off a
her
different persona,
characters.
which is
Yeah.
amazing. So you can't name anything you've been in or any of your mates have been in, but what's your favourite movie or TV show?
Favorite movie or TV show? See, I have a few, to be honest. It's very hard. I like, if you're going to say Goodfellas and Casino, you're immediately into the mob era. So he likes his mob movies, and then all of a sudden so I always have like a certain couple of movies I always pick.
Yeah.
But if I just pick the one, I like With Neil and I.
Never seen that one. I was hoping you would say something that I haven't seen.
The reason why is as a struggling actor, watching a struggling actor,
Yeah.
it's something you'll never forget. Don't get me wrong, I love Shawshank. I think that's amazing, and I just think Richard E. Grant in this performance for a very little budget movie is incredible.
Yeah.
And him and Paul are brilliant in it, and I love it. I think it's great.
TV shows then? Anything you've been watching in lockdown even?
My normal TV shows would be favourite one of all, never going to change it. It's only Foods and Horses. It's my normal sitcom. As far as TV shows are concerned, I have loved La Casa Patel, which is Money Heist.
Yes, brilliant.
I'm enjoying that only if you watch it in the original accent and do subtitles. I find it hard to watch something when they're speaking and it's a different accent. I'm gone at that stage. So I love that. That's very, very good. And I like Ozark. I think Bateman's amazing in it. Yeah.
I had to give Joe a shout out for that London Gangs one. Did you watch that? Have you seen any of that? Joe Cole's new one?
Gangs of London is fantastic. Gangs of London. Joe's class. If you want to celebrate then anything, you need to watch Pride. Dawn of the Prairies. He's absolutely amazing. But yeah, I loved it. I loved Michelle in it. Thought she's super. Playing his mum. And then I've just worked with Colin, which was another dream come true. I worked with him and Alec Baldwin on a movie called Pixie. So I knew about this coming out and he had just finished this. So our movie will be out soon. And I knew what was happening in this. So I was very excited to see it. And yes, I backed the whole rat off. Of course I did. That's what we do for our fellow mates as well. Make sure
you have to. When you first started working on Pickies, did you think you were going to work with Joe Cole from playing for Liverpool and Chelsea?
No. I knew of Joe already from previous work that he had done. In actual fact, Joe Cole was one of the ones that, like, me and Joe got very close and became good friends, and we are good friends. And he's part of the reason why I have enjoyed the earlier days as much as I did, because he was part of the clan. Like, we used to eat, we still do as much as we can, but you know, we went out and ate together and finished up together, and we're getting picked up in the morning together and dropped off together and late night talking together, and everything seemed to be always in a, because it's lonely at times, you know, on your own. Yeah. And you need somebody around you at times, you know. So it was great to have Joe, because he's a great character, great energy, great excitement, and great banter, and some very good stories.
Last question to finish, and I'm going to set you up here because you've been hinting at it the whole time, and I see the topper in the background. You looking forward to the Premier League starting again?
I'm looking forward to the Premier League starting again. Of course I am. I'm a bit disappointed because the players that deserve to have thousands of people screaming at the top of their lungs and singing with energy aren't allowed to do that. And we shouldn't be doing that. We should be very aware of what we're doing. And sticking to the guidelines and celebrating our own homes. But I'm easy, because I know we're doing it again next year. So there's no problem.
Hopefully not. I was hoping it was going to be scrubbed all the guards and one day.
Nah, we're going to do it this year and we're going to do it next year. And if things don't happen over the next 4 months with these other 2-3 clubs, then we'll do it the following year with no problem. I think undoubtedly we have the best squad in the Premier League. And I don't mean like, oh, we have the best players. Fair enough, we've great, amazing players.
Yeah.
I'm on about squad, lads, morality, just the lads giving each other stick about their hair, but at the same time they'll run through a wall for you, and
Massively.
these are not just teammates, they're friends. And when you have a club going to win the first cup in 30 years, these boys will literally, listen, I'm delighted it's back. They deserve to have their cup and they deserve to win it. I think we were robbed last year. I wish we had it done better. But I thought we were robbed in a couple of games last year, and we could have easily had that. And yeah, I'm an emotional man when it comes to football, like we all are.
Yeah, big time.
But it's going to be hopefully a big day, and it's not over yet. So, we still need them points, and it's going to be hard in empty stadiums to try and create any atmosphere. But with Jurgen Klopp on the sideline, I don't think you need another single soul in the stadium, because this man can scream the whole of Liverpool down.
Oh, big time.
Oh, I can't wait.
I honestly think that you could get a run out up front and you'll still win the league comfortably enough.
Oh, I do actually, 100%. I think if I got a run out, I'd just stand there having a laugh. You know what I mean?
Distract them.
It's just not offside. Oh, that's certainly. I do yoga in the corner. Or eat a yogurt, one of the other. I think they're both the same.
So, mate, really appreciate you joining me. Thanks very much, and good luck with everything you're doing.
Yes, mate, thank you very much. Anytime, give me a bell. And yes, it's a great thing what you're doing, mate. Let's not get off that. And anybody that needs that help should always never, ever, ever be afraid to ask for it. I think that's the most important thing. I think it takes I understand some people think it takes a brave man to not show the emotions, but sometimes it takes a bigger and braver man to ask for help because of his emotions. So
definitely,
let's try and bear that in mind.
Brilliant.
On that note, I'm going to go now and stick a dinner on the kids. All right?
Cheers, mate. Good luck. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.